Hey guys, today we've got a flash crash from 4,400 all the way down to 4,050 with Bitcoin. So we're going to talk about that, whales, top gainers, top losers, and just discuss today in the cryptocurrency world. So my name is Mike or Kubera. Welcome to the channel. If you have not hit that like and subscribe button, definitely do that. Check out my other videos. And with that plug out of the way, let's first discuss Bitcoin and whales. So first of all, new peaks for Bitcoin. That is crazy. $4,400. Wow. And with $4,400, I do want you guys to realize that if you add on an additional 10%, 15%, 20, 30%, which some people are buying it even for 40% or 50% is just, why would you do that to yourself? Just why? But anyways, so there's definitely people buying Bitcoin for $5,000 or even more than that. So it all depends where you're buying it from. You know, certain locations are a little bit more expensive than others, what the exchange rates are. What is the exchange? Is it PayPal? Is it something riskier? Is it a gift card? Nobody really wants gift cards, etc. Is there identity verification involved? Anyways, so yeah, there's people buying it for $5,000, and that's just crazy in my mind. It's like, wow. So we saw it, you know, just kind of chilling out there at 4,400 around, and then suddenly it started like, woo, we got some movement in the charts. Like, what's going on with the candles? And if you look at the large down candles and the volume behind them, so that's pretty much, if you don't know how to read the charts or a little bit of analysis, super simple. Things at the top, they're the candlesticks, and the things at the bottom, the red and green, are volume. So it kind of tells you how much volume, or whether there's a lot of volume or whether there's small volume. And green means, you know, it's going positive, it's going in the up, making money. Red means you're losing money. Volume just means how much Bitcoin is being bought and sold at that very minute, 5 minutes, hour, whatever point you're looking at in time. So if you look at that, there is huge selling volume, yet the price doesn't drop so quickly. That means that there's someone buying, or at least placing giant buy orders. So there's thousands of sell transactions on Bitcoin that was triggered from a couple huge selling transactions, which maybe there's a couple huge ones in between as well. Anyways, so it's selling, it is going down at this point, but there are some people placing buy orders, which are huge buy orders, which is enough for the price to dip down and then kind of cone back up. And you're able to see at what point that these whales are buying at, okay? So if you see a candlestick with like the little wick at the bottom, it means that it got down to that point, but it kind of went back up before it closed, and there's some resistance to that point. So pretty much what's going on here is that there's some millionaire whales out there. I mean, in order to be a whale with Bitcoin, you need to be a millionaire. You just have a bunch of Bitcoin. And what they're probably doing is, at these high prices, maybe it's a couple people together, collusion. Maybe it's just one guy who has just a bunch of money. Maybe it's a couple whales who aren't like working together, but they're inspired by one another, and like, oh, maybe, you know, this is probably the most common thing. There's people who have the same idea at the same time when there's a lot of money to be made. They're like, oh, okay, I'll sell 5 to 10% of my Bitcoin right now at a loss, or, you know, not really a loss. Most likely they were holding for a very long time, but, you know, at a loss for opportunity costs. Like, oh, yeah, I could have made more money if I held, whatever. So they sell 5 to 10% of their Bitcoin. It triggers a downfall. The empire is crashing. Everyone thinks it's the end of the world as we know it. They are selling, they're panic selling, everyone's going down, and then it's this giant train, bam, 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 crashing. It dips, Bitcoin dips, right? And then it kind of goes back up because there's a few huge giant buy transactions. And at this point, eventually, you know, on the long-term scale, what happens is there's enough buy volume eventually where the people who already knew what they were doing, they bought what they wanted for a low price. And then other people are buying because then it's FOMO, fear of missing out. And then, you know, it's kind of like this train that pumps it all the way up to the top. And, you know, this is where new peaks come from. And then there's more people who are getting involved. And then they're selling their houses, their kids, everything, their entire life. Because, hey, we can all become Bitcoin millionaires. Woo! So they sell everything. And, you know, they buy more Bitcoin, which the whales at this point, they're perfectly fine selling their Bitcoin. And then it's a rinse and repeat process. And you're able to see this with Bitcoin, you're able to see this with Litecoin, Ethereum, with any other coin. But at the same time that this has been going on, if you also look at Ethereum, IOTA, and especially NEO, you can see this quite a bit. Which, by the way, NEO and shares is an interesting one. Remember how we were talking about it yesterday, how it's going to hit like $60, $3 billion market cap. It went down from the 5th position to the 8th position. It's in the $40 right now. But, you know, it's a dip. That's normal. It's natural, because whenever something goes up like that, like way too quickly, there's always a bunch of people who are like, oh, it'll never go down. Oh, never say never, because it will. Because some people aren't that greedy. They want to cash out if they made like 5%, 10%. Others have made a bunch of money and they're like, well, I don't even care anymore, or whatever. Ching! See ya, I'm out. And yeah, it's kind of funny how you can see patterns. Sometimes, though, there's major news events, or there's rumors, or whatever. There's insider information, which just goes against everything else. So if you're just looking at the candlestick charts, if you're looking for patterns, if you're analyzing, you can still lose money, because you never know, especially in the cryptocurrency world. But this was an interesting thing to look at. Some people, of course, this will never change. There will be those people who think it'll crash. Now, by the way, I just want to say about a previous video, sorry that it annoyed you. I didn't mean that Bitcoin's going to crash. Like, actually, I meant like a dip, but like a perspective crash, where it goes down like a couple $100, or maybe even $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000, depends what it's at that point. Let's say it's $6,000 and it falls down to $4,000 and plateaus around there. It kind of has these weird spikes throughout, but those are outliers. So throughout a couple months next year, let's say, you know, kind of travels through 4,000 and then it goes back up to 6,000 or whatever. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I meant. I didn't mean that it's going to go from like $4,400, right, or even 4,000 to like $1, like $2. Like, no. I just don't see Bitcoin crashing down to like $500. But then again, I don't know. But the chances are so slim of that. If it would crash down to 500, I mean, there's also good chances of it hitting like $25,000 as well. So, you know, hey. Anyways, enough of Bitcoin. Now let's go into the top gainers, top losers. This is super kind of interesting to look at. So if you want to do it yourself every single day or every week, you're able to go to CoinMarketCap or any other website that kind of lists the main cryptocurrencies. So the top gainers for the 24-hour periods and the 7-day periods today, let's kind of look at it. Let's see what's going on. I kind of started writing a little bit here, like, okay, so the biggest gainers for the past 24 hours, Onyx is at the top, which this is an interesting coin to look at, super amazing. You should totally buy into it. No, I'm just kidding, because the volume is incredibly low. So you look at the first one, Onyx, and then the second one, Magi. I never heard of that one. I've never heard of either of them. But anyways, so at least Magi's doing better here with a $2.7 million volume, while this Onyx rose 143%. Yeah, no duh, it can rise that easily when it's only dealing with $36,000. So you got $36,000. That's tiny compared to like $2.7 million or like $1 million, or, you know, some of these have like millions and millions of dollars, and then obviously that's nothing compared to like Bitcoin with tens of billions of dollars. So let's see, we're looking at what else can we recognize? Redcoin is the third one over there. So Redcoin's most popularly traded on Blue Trade. Blue Trade is kind of like this unknown an exchange, but it has some coins like Redcoin and Bitbean or whatever, and Mooncoin, stuff that kind of like blew up, and then some of it died, others were like okay. Sometimes Blue Trade has some interesting offers, but mainly it's just like, it's full of pumps. That's where the pump and dumpers go. So, I'd be careful with that. I'm not saying Redcoin is necessarily bad, but it's just, it's interesting to see it. That went up nearly 70% over there. Let's see. Inflation Coin is number 5. I've never heard of that one before, but I like the name. I'll give you props to whoever came up with that. Number 6 is NEO, going up 40%. Okay, it's not NEO. It's Gas, which is close to NEO, like ant shares, all that stuff. So NEO is interesting because if you hold on to it, it kind of pays you in gas a little bit. You get like 5% gas for annual stuff like that. And then the only other one I kind of recognize, like I've seen Verge and all that, but it's Digibyte. Yay, Digibyte, DGB. It's finally coming back up a little bit after boom. That was a crash. The market's just stabilized. So that, it was meant to happen, but still, some people lost a lot of money with Digibyte if they bought at the top, and especially if you sold. If you actually sold, like, you lost money at that point. But that was interesting to look at the 24 hours. I have never done this before, and we're not actually going much into these coins. We're just talking about it because I'm just like, whatever. We'll try this out. I don't think I'm going to do this again, but if you go to the 7 days biggest gainers, this is where you can see a bunch of the pumps. Pura, Pura over here. 800%. Wow, that's, at least it's got some nice volume to it compared to Coin. What is that? Campus Coin with 18,000. This one has even worse volume, and it went up 757%. 757% with $18,000 volume. Wow, someone just made a couple $100 there, a couple thousand. Whoa. Big deal. And we see gas with 300%. But hey, that's interesting because NEO in general over the past couple of weeks has gone up like 400%. So it all depends how you look at it. But hey, things are going good for NEO and Cheers Gas. I still can't get over like their name. Antshears was just a weird name. Why would you name it that? I mean, it's alphabetically nice because it starts at the beginning, kind of like Amazon, but Antshears. I'm glad they changed the name. Now, the biggest losers, we got Insane Coin. It's not the biggest loser. The biggest one's Ember Coin. Yikes. You lost a little bit of money there over 24 hours. I just liked Insane Coin's name. But also, we got Moon Coin there. Moon Coin fell quite a bit. Some people were hoping for 7 Satoshis or 8 Satoshis, but it's at 1 Satoshi. And do you want to know why Mooncoin is a failed project? Now, it could come back, could be like a phoenix and rise once again, but yeah, the reason Mooncoin kind of failed is when I went on to their subreddit and there was a post asking for donations for the developer to continue working on the project, and the developer was asked, so the developer wasn't doing this, but someone did it for the developer, and they were asking for like $80,000, and last time I checked, there was only a couple donations, and so that's just a drop of water in an entire ocean. Yeah, that's just a way to make sure your project fails at that point, because if the developer has to focus on other projects, well, duh, it doesn't look good on the project. That's why it's fallen. So if we look at the 7 days, we got Zircoin and Ember Coin. If you invested in those, you have lost maybe half your money. But an interesting one here, the reason I wanted to talk about, we don't have any like huge losses, because sometimes there are coins that lose a couple 100%. I check like pretty much every day just to see fun ones. It's interesting to see Chaincoin over there, minus 37.18. Oh boy, Chaincoin. And Max is kind of pumping up Chaincoin a little bit, but that was a failed attempt. My favorite thing was how he started disabling comments on a bunch of his videos, and he started streaming him playing golf. Not to say that golf is a bad thing, but in America, it's much more expensive than it is here. Here, it's actually like the average person can golf. In America, now I'm not saying he spent a bunch of money to golf, but it's just one of those things that kind of like, you know, if you have a bad reputation, you kind of wouldn't want to post that stream/video that he did, because that, plus going to Vegas, plus, you know, him actually spending money and stuff, just doesn't look good. Anyways, I'm not going to recommend you look into any of these altcoins. I say, what I will recommend, though, is to look at CoinMarketCap and any other website which lists the biggest gainers and losers, and just kind of start making little lists to see what trends you can spot. And also look at some of these coins that have actually good volume, and this is like actual advice here, because this was just for fun, but look at the ones who have some decent volume, not like, oh, $10,000, but like, you know, let's say $10 million and it rose up like 20% or 50%. Something not too crazy, but over the past 7 days. Because if it's in just a 24-hour span, unless there was a major news event, like it is probably getting pumped from somewhere. And even if it's $1 million of volume, there could be whales. There's always some manipulation. You'd be a fool to think that there is no market manipulation. If you think such things, please watch American Greed and Wall Street. Mr. Golden Gecko. Insider information is where it's at, my friends. But yeah, so start looking at these coins. If you see something with high volume and that's been doing well, you might want to look into it, look into the subreddit, look into news, and hey, it might be something to kind of to eventually invest a little bit into, but always diversify. Anyways, my name is Mike. We're going back down to one video every single day unless there's some major news events, because I wanted to test it out. I told you guys. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm some of you kids. And my name is Mike. I'm gonna look really smart here. I don't know if I said my name is Mike like twice. Oh gosh, the glasses are super dirty. Thanks so much for your support. If you can, please give a like, comment, and subscribe. To the people that watch my videos fully and watch my advertisements, you are amazing. Thank you for the donations and everything. We shall see you guys tomorrow. Bye.